Welcome to our channel. I bet you didn't know the incredible story of Boudica, the warrior queen of ancient Britain. The year is 43 AD. A mighty empire has set its sights on a distant mist-shrouded isle. This is Britain, a land of tribes and chiefdoms, of ancient forests and rolling hills. But Rome, with its legions of disciplined soldiers, its hunger for conquest, and its thirst for glory, has come to claim it. Emperor Claudius leads the charge, eager to add another jewel to the Roman crown. The Britons, fiercely independent, resist the invaders. They fight with the fury of cornered wolves, wielding swords and spears, charging with chariots that scythe through the Roman ranks. Yet, the Roman war machine, relentless and brutal, grinds on. One by one the tribes fall, their lands swallowed by the ever-expanding empire. In the east of this conquered land, a tribe known as the Iceni watches and waits. They are a proud people, ruled by their own kings and queens, fiercely protective of their independence. Little do they know that their destiny is about to become entwined with the fate of the Roman Empire, and that from their midst will rise a warrior queen whose name will echo through the ages, Boudicca. The Iceni were not like the tribes of the deep forests, cloaked in shadow and mystery. They were a people of the open plains, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature, their skills honed by the demands of survival. They were farmers and hunters, skilled craftspeople, and fierce warriors when the need arose. Horses were their companions, their steeds in battle, their partners in peace. The Iceni rode with a grace and skill unmatched by many, their chariots thundering across the plains, their arrows finding their marks with deadly accuracy. They were a people of the horse, and their lives were forever bound to the powerful creatures. Their society was structured yet fluid, with power shared amongst tribal leaders and a king or queen who commanded respect and loyalty. They worshipped their own gods, ancient deities of the earth and sky, and their lives were rich with ritual and tradition. The Iceni, like many tribes in Britain, valued their freedom above all else, and they would fight to the death to protect it. Prasutagus, king of the Iceni, was a shrewd ruler. He saw the futility of outright resistance against the might of Rome. He chose a different path, a path of diplomacy and cunning. He became a client king to Rome, pledging allegiance to the emperor in exchange for a semblance of autonomy for his people. It was a gamble, a dangerous game to play with a power as ruthless as Rome. But Prasutagus believed it was the best hope for his people's survival. He ruled wisely, keeping the peace and ensuring that Roman demands were met. He had a wife, a queen who stood beside him, a woman of fierce intelligence and unwavering loyalty. Her name was Boudica. Together they had 2 daughters, princesses of the Iceni, their futures seemingly secure. Prasutagus, in his wisdom, made the Roman emperor co-heir to his kingdom alongside his daughters. He believed that this act of appeasement would guarantee his family's safety and his people's continued existence. He was wrong. Upon the death of Prasutagus, Roman greed knew no bounds. The treaty, the agreement, the king's dying wish, all were cast aside. Roman officials descended upon the Iceni lands like wolves upon a wounded animal. They seized Iceni property, confiscated their wealth, and enslaved their people. Boudica, the queen, the wife, the mother, watched in horror as her world crumbled. She argued, she pleaded, she demanded that the terms of the treaty be honored. Her pleas fell on deaf ears. The Romans, drunk on power and arrogance, would not be swayed. Then came the ultimate humiliation. Boudica, the queen of the Iceni, was stripped naked and flogged in public. Her daughters, young and terrified, were violated by Roman soldiers. The Romans had made a grave miscalculation. They had underestimated the spirit of a queen and awakened a fury that would shake the very foundations of their empire. Section 5. Boudica rises, a queen's vow for vengeance. The lash that tore at Boudica's back ignited a fire within her, a fire of defiance that would consume all in its path. The cries of her daughters fueled her rage, a mother's love twisted into a burning need for retribution. She would not be broken, she would not be cowed, she would have her revenge. Word spread like wildfire across the land. The Iceni, outraged by the treatment of their queen, flocked to her banner. Other tribes, chafing under the yoke of Roman rule, saw a chance for liberation. The Trinovantes, their lands stolen, their grievances ignored, joined the rebellion. Together they would form an unstoppable force, fueled by righteous anger and a thirst for freedom. Boudica, her voice hoarse but unwavering, addressed her people. She spoke of the injustices they had suffered, of the cruelty inflicted upon them. She called upon the spirits of their ancestors, upon the gods of the land, to guide their hands in battle, and she vowed that Rome would pay for its crimes. Section 6. The Fires of Rebellion, Colchester, London, Verulamium. The rebellion erupted like a volcano, molten rage pouring across the land. Boudica, her hair ablaze with fury, her eyes burning with the promise of vengeance, led her people to war. Their first target, Camulodunum, the Roman stronghold, a symbol of Roman power and arrogance. The Roman defenses were weak, their soldiers complacent. They underestimated the fury of the rebels, the sheer ferocity of their attack. Camulodunum fell, swallowed by flames, its streets running red with the blood of Roman soldiers. The rebellion had tasted victory, and it was hungry for more. Londinium, a burgeoning trading centre, was next. The Romans, caught off guard, could offer little resistance. The city was sacked, its buildings razed to the ground, its inhabitants put to the sword. Verulamium, another Roman settlement, met the same fate. Boudica's rebellion was a raging inferno, consuming all in its path. Section 7. The Battle of Watling Street, a clash of destiny. The Romans, their pride wounded, their grip on power threatened, could not ignore Boudica's rebellion any longer. General Suetonius Paulinus, a seasoned commander, gathered his legions and marched to confront the rebel queen. The two armies met near Watling Street, a Roman road cutting through the heart of Britain. The Roman army was a well-oiled machine, disciplined and heavily armed. Legionaries protected by shields and armor advanced in formation, their swords thirsty for blood. Boudica's forces, though larger in number, were less organized. Their ranks filled with warriors from different tribes, their weapons and tactics varied. The battle raged for hours. The Britons fought with the courage of desperation, their chariots scything through Roman ranks, their arrows finding their marks with deadly accuracy. But the Roman legions held firm, their discipline and training eventually telling. The tide turned, and the rebel forces began to waver. Section 8. Legacy of the Warrior Queen. Echoes in the mist of time. The defeat at Watling Street was a crushing blow to the rebellion. Boudica, her forces shattered, her dream of freedom extinguished, refused to be captured. She took her own life, her final act of defiance against the might of Rome. Her daughters, their fates unknown, vanished into the mists of history. Though the rebellion was ultimately crushed, its impact was profound. It sent shockwaves through the Roman Empire, a stark reminder that even the mightiest of empires could bleed. It forced the Romans to reconsider their brutal policies, to rule with a slightly lighter hand, lest they face another such uprising. But most importantly, Boudica's story lived on. Passed down through generations, whispered in hushed tones, she became a symbol of resistance, a beacon of hope in the face of tyranny. Her name, once a rallying cry for rebellion, would echo through the ages, inspiring countless others to fight for their freedom. Section 9. Boudica in modern Britain, an enduring symbol. Centuries have passed since Boudica's rebellion, but her legacy lives on, more potent than ever. In modern Britain, she is a national heroine, a symbol of courage, determination, and unwavering resistance against oppression. Her image adorns statues, her name graces streets and buildings. Her story is told and retold in books, films, and plays. But Boudica is more than just a historical figure. She is a powerful symbol of female strength and leadership. In a world where women's voices are often silenced, her story resonates deeply, reminding us that women too can be warriors, leaders, and agents of change. Her story continues to inspire artists, writers, and musicians, each generation finding new meaning in her legend. She reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can never be truly conquered. Section 10. Conclusion. The unquenchable spirit. Boudica's rebellion may have ended in defeat, but her spirit, her unyielding defiance in the face of tyranny, continues to inspire. She reminds us that freedom is not a gift, but a right worth fighting for, even against insurmountable odds. Her story, passed down through generations, transcends time and place, speaking to the very core of the human spirit. Though her final resting place remains a mystery, her legacy is etched into the very landscape of Britain, In the rustling of leaves, in the rushing of rivers, in the echoes of history, we hear her voice, a whisper of defiance, a reminder that the flame of freedom once ignited can never be truly extinguished. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past.